How good was Patrice Evra at Man United? Anyone who follows Patrice Evra will be familiar with the phrase "I love this game," as the Man United legend always shouts it at his camera whenever he uploads videos on his social media. The Frenchman has become a hit on social media since hanging up his boots in the summer of 2019, sharing clips of himself reacting to events in the footballing world and also some much weirder ones that are better left unseen. However, today we're going to be looking at his Man United career and we'll be reviewing just how good he was while he was a Manchester United player. Let's get into it. In all honesty, it's difficult to doubt the footballing ability of any player from Sir Alex Ferguson's legendary 2007-2008 team. So, while Wayne Rooney, Carlos Tevez and Cristiano Ronaldo snatched all of the goals, assists and headlines, Evra thrived in the background. Even someone with Evra's offensive talent only managed 3 assists in all competitions that season, which is hardly surprising when you have 3 leading men like Wayne Rooney, Carlos Tevez and Cristiano Ronaldo in attack. However, he gave them one of the finest assists in the history of the league during their Champions League match against Dynamo Kiev, or at least he would have if Tevez had made the decision to hit his shot decisively. He played a nice 1-2 with Nani while gliding down the left flank in true Evra fashion, drifting towards the Dynamo box. But the left-back was immediately dwarfed by the commanding presence of Pape Diake. At this point, it looked like the only choice was to retreat. However, Evra shifted the ball to the side with his left foot in one spectacular move, before slipping it between the legs of his Senegalese opponent. The next pass he made was precisely weighted for Tevez to score his second of the game to make it 5-0. But Carlos Tevez fumbled and sent a weak shot straight at Alexander Shovkovsky, depriving Evra of one of the greatest assists the Champions League has ever witnessed. The Argentine is, in all honesty, lucky that his teammate didn't file a small claims lawsuit against him, because nobody would blame him if he did. Fortunately for Tevez, Evra is far too passionate about the game to be concerned about statistics. That nutmeg will have given him as much pleasure as any trophy. According to Evra, Diake allegedly approached Evra after the game and told him, "You can't do that to me, I have kids." You have to imagine that the Dynamo defender was just in front of the United man as he laughed loudly before grabbing him by the ears and yelling, "I love this game." Evra was a real character who was always getting into trouble, and there was never a dull moment with him. Evra's sense of humour was immensely endearing, whether it was pretending to bite a fake arm in response to Luis Suarez's incident with Branislav Ivanovic, making bunny ears behind Sir Alex Ferguson, or saying he would buy Park Ji-sung a car for providing that assist that ended his goal drought. Evra was very fast, energetic and athletic. He was very good at both defense and offense, and during his prime, he was regarded as the best player in the world in his position. He was also very good in the air, so he was oftentimes used as a left centre-back. Evra was more than just a superb defender for Manchester United. His relentless tackling, pace and attacking intellect, along with world-class wingers from a much better era in United's history, made him an invaluable asset in Sir Alex Ferguson's final years in charge. French sources disclosed on December 27th that Manchester United was considering signing Patrice Evra. Despite rumours that Monaco and Internazionale had reached a transfer agreement, Evra stated on January 3, 2006 that he preferred a move to England and to join Manchester United. The next day, Man United made a formal transfer offer for the player. Then United boss Sir Alex Ferguson announced the contract for Evra on January 6th. 4 days later, the deal was finalised and Evra signed a 3.5-year contract in a deal that cost Man United approximately £5.5 million. Ferguson's goal was to strengthen the team's defence, which was seriously weak at that time. Evra initially struggled to get used to the English game. He made his club debut on January 14th during a 3-1 Premier League away loss to Manchester City. He was replaced at half-time because he didn't play particularly well that day. While the player acknowledged that playing for Manchester United was something he was not prepared for, Ferguson also said after the game that maybe it was a bit of a gamble playing Evra that day. Despite the initial setback, Evra started the team's next game against Liverpool, which ended in a 1-0 victory. After that next game, teammate Rio Ferdinand couldn't help but praise Evra for his performance. Evra made a cameo performance on February 26th during United's 4-0 victory over Wigan Athletic in the 2006 League Cup final, and he was also very instrumental in winning that game. By December, Evra had established himself as a regular starter in the starting 11. Evra started 9 matches in a row after starting in United's 3-1 Champions League triumph against Benfica on December 6th. Evra made the assist for Rooney's goal in a 2-1 away defeat to Arsenal, and another in a 2-0 victory over Charlton Athletic. On the 10th of April 2007, Evra also scored the game-winning goal in a 7-1 triumph over Roma in the second leg of the 2006-2007 UEFA Champions League quarter-finals. That goal was his first in the Champions League, and it helped Manchester United advance to the semi-finals. After goals from Michael Carrick, Alan Smith, Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo made for a spectacular night, United was already cruising against AS Roma at Old Trafford. Evra, however, made the decision to deliver the clincher and put the cherry on top. A low shot was fired past Donny by the substitute after he drove down the right side and allowed the ball to roll across his body. Evra was selected for the Professional Footballers Association Team of the Year, despite only appearing in 24 league games, and Manchester United won the league that year by a 6-point margin. In the 2007-2008 season, Evra finally established himself as a regular at United, and because of his contributions, the team went on to do great things that season. At this time, he was recognised as one of the best left-backs in the world, thanks to his attacking runs, amazing fitness and accurate crosses. The Frenchman made 48 appearances for the team during that campaign, and he shone against Chelsea in the Champions League final, as United won the Premier League and the European Cup to secure the double that season. Evra featured in all of the 38 league games during the 2009-2010 season for the first time in his career. His campaign got off to a rough start when he missed the sloppy penalty kick in the 2009 FA Community Shield penalty shootout loss to Chelsea that some in the media called terrible. He led the squad as captain for the first time in his Manchester United career in the team's 3-1 Champions League victory over VfL Wolfsburg, filling in for the injured Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville and Ryan Giggs during the season. Evra was one of the 3 Manchester United players selected in December 2009 to the FIFA Pro World 11 for the 2009 calendar year, before being named to the UEFA Team of the Year in January 2010. Evra led Manchester United to a 2-1 victory over Aston Villa on February 28, 2010 in the League Cup final. Evra won his 4th overall title and his first as a captain with the League Cup. In addition, he became just the 2nd Frenchman, after Eric Cantona, to lead Manchester United to victory in a significant match. Evra contributed to United's victory over Manchester City in the 2011 Community Shield at the start of the 2011-2012 season on August 7th. Despite being beaten in the first half by a Jolien Lescott header and a long-range Edin Dzeko goal that gave City a 2-0 lead, United came back to win the game 3-2 and take home the shield. Despite only standing at 5'9" tall, Evra established a reputation as an attacking threat at corners during the 2012-2013 season. After a run of 13 games, which included games against Newcastle United, Arsenal and Swansea City, he doubled his goal tally from the previous 7 years at the club by scoring 3 headed goals from corners. He carried on with this streak into the 2013-2014 campaign, returning home to face Cardiff City on November 24, 2013. In addition to the goals from headers, Evra also scored twice from open play since the start of the season. The first one coming against Newcastle on Boxing Day 2012 with a low drive from just outside the penalty area, and the second one coming against Stoke City with a curling right-footed effort in the 5th round of the League Cup almost a year later. In the absence of a true left-sided winger, he held the left side together at Old Trafford, especially in his final 18 months there. But that was forgotten, so when things went wrong, Evra received undeserved condemnation. His devotion to the club was unrivaled and appears to still be. He climbed to become captain as Nemanja Vidic's injuries increased after a number of years of dominating opponents and winning over the United faithful. However, his time as captain was all too brief, and with Sir Alex Ferguson's departure, the team's assurance, stability and invincibility also left. Many Old Trafford icons questioned their future after David Moyes' disastrous first season in charge, and the rebuild officially started with the departures of Ferdinand, Vidic and Evra. For the most part, however, Evra will always be remembered as one of the finest left-backs in Premier League history. What do you think though? How good was Patrice Evra? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section. Also, make sure to watch this video in the link, and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. On the screen now should be another good video worth watching, so click on that video and we will see you in the next one.